There is a certain look people get when they have carried far more than their share of life's weight. It is not just fatigue, and it is not simply getting older. It is something you can see in the eyes, like the soul inside has lived 100 different lives while the body stayed the same. And if you are someone who feels older than the number on your birthday cake, or if regular, everyday drama feels childish and distant because you have survived things that would crush most folks, then I want you to hear me clearly. You might be convinced that you are worn-out goods. Maybe you feel drained, cracked, or like the spark you used to have has burned out. But psychology paints a very different picture. We talk plenty about post-traumatic stress, yet barely anyone mentions its opposite: post-traumatic growth. When you have walked straight through the fire and somehow made it out the other side, you did more than survive. You built a collection of rare strengths that people who have lived soft lives never even get a chance to develop. Here are the signs that your pain has actually shaped you into something unbreakable. The first gift is what I think of as high-definition empathy. Most people skim the surface of emotions. They understand pain in theory. But you? You know what suffering feels like from the inside. Because you have sat in the dark, you can recognize someone else sitting in that same darkness from across a room. You probably notice that strangers tell you things they have never told anyone. People open up to you within minutes. That is not random. It is because you no longer judge people the way most folks do. You understand how fragile life is, so you do not waste your time pretending or playing small talk games. There is a depth in you that quietly draws in people who are also trying to heal. You have become a kind of safe place simply because you know how painful it is not to have one. Feeling deeply is a beautiful ability, but it can wear you out if you do not learn how to protect it. Still, your past did not only make you gentler. It also made you tougher in the places where toughness counts. That brings me to the second strength: your ability to stay functional in chaos. Psychologists call this crisis competence. When most people get hit with a sudden emergency, someone gets hurt, money collapses, something huge goes wrong out of nowhere, their whole system spikes. They panic. They freeze. But you? When everything falls apart, you get steadier. It is almost like a switch flips inside you. Your stress baseline changed long ago. You have lived through your personal version of hell. A flat tire or somebody being rude barely makes a dent anymore because you have already faced monsters far worse than that. While others are spinning in circles, you become the calm center of the room. You start figuring out the next steps. You are not emotionless. You are experienced. You have a resilience muscle that most people will never develop. Things that would derail someone else's entire week barely show up on your emotional radar. But that calmness is more than survival instinct. The real power in you shows up after the crisis ends, when you get to decide the kind of person you want to be moving forward. This leads to the third strength: radical authenticity. When someone has suffered deeply, they lose all tolerance for fake. When you have been brought to your limits or watched parts of your life fall apart, your ego stops running the show. You quit caring about impressing people who do not matter. Fancy status and shiny labels stop meaning anything. People who have not struggled are terrified of judgment, so they wear masks. But you? You burned those masks a long time ago just to stay warm. You say what is real, even when it is uncomfortable. You value time over money because you know time is not promised. This honesty can make you intimidating to folks who are still pretending, but it makes you magnetic to people who crave the truth. You are genuine in a world that runs on plastic. So let's rethink the whole idea of being broken. In Japan, there is an art called kintsugi. When a bowl cracks, They do not toss it in the trash. They repair it with gold, and the bowl becomes stronger and even more beautiful than before. The cracks become the highlight, not the flaw. That is exactly what you are. You are not ruined. You are the bowl filled with gold. Every fracture in your history is proof of your growth. You can hold more light precisely because you were split open. So do not envy people who had an easy path. Easy paths make fragile people. You are the opposite of fragile. You became stronger because of the fire, not despite it. And that kind of strength cannot be bought, taught, or faked. If you are a survivor, if you are part of the Kintsugi Club, drop a diamond emoji in the comments. Diamonds exist only because of pressure, and I want to see you shining there. And if you enjoy messages like this, make sure you subscribe and stay connected so you do not miss the next video.